in Program 6, we're going to look at some of the past predictions of why people have been so wrong about the future. And one of the notions is that today's vision of a standalone computer is just as limited as those past visions of it being only a number cruncher. What's the difference philosophically between a network machine and a standalone machine?
Let me answer that question in a slightly different way. There have been, if you look at why the majority of people have bought these things so far, there have been two real explosions that have propelled the industry forward. The first one really happened in 1977, and it was the spreadsheet. I remember when Dan Filestra, who ran the company that marketed the first spreadsheet, walked into my office at Apple one day and pulled out this disk from his vest pocket and said, I have this incredible new program. I call it a visual calculator, and it became VisiCalc. And that's what really propelled the Apple II to the success it achieved, more than any other single event. And with the invention of Lotus 123, and I think it was 1982, that's what really propelled the IBM PC to the level of success that it achieved. So that was the first explosion, was the spreadsheet. The second really big explosion in our industry has been desktop publishing. Happened in 1985 with the Macintosh and the LaserWriter printer. And at that point, people could start to do on their desktops things that only typesetters and printers could do prior to that. And that's been a very big revolution in publishing. And those two explosions have been the only two real major revolutions which have caused a lot of people to buy these things and use them. The third one is starting to happen now. And the third one is, let's do for human-to-human communication what spreadsheets did for financial planning and what desktop publishing did for publishing. Let's revolutionize it using these desktop devices. And we're already starting to see the signs of that. What I have seen is I've seen interpersonal computing happening at our own company. Or maybe the best way to put it is, I remember when the first spreadsheet came out, I saw it fly through Apple as well as other companies. And when we invented desktop publishing, of course, it influenced Apple first. And I've seen the same thing happen with interpersonal computing here at Next. We decided to put a Next machine on every employee's desktop about 18 months ago and connect them with the very high-speed networking that's built in. And I've seen the revolution here with my own eyes. And it's actually larger than the first two. Let me give you some examples. If we're going to be doing a special project, let's say with a company, and let's say the company's called what's your
WGBH.
WGBH. We're going to be doing a special project with WGBH, and what we'll do is we'll create a special mailbox, WGBH, and we'll put 20 people on it that are going to be helping on this project. Now, these 20 people will be from all over our company, from marketing, from sales, from engineering, some from manufacturing, maybe some from our Boston office so they can be close by. And if one sends a message to this mailbox, they'll all get it like that, instantly. And if one sends a reply, they'll copy the whole mailbox on it so the rest of the team members get to read the intellectual content going back and forth. And everyone in this mailbox will probably get around 30 mail messages a day. And they'll spend about 20 minutes, 30 minutes reading these and answering these per day. And it'll be like a beehive. Now, this project's very important for our company, and I want to make sure it's getting off right. So I'll put my own name on this mailbox, and I'll see these 30 mail messages fly by, all of the disagreements and the arguments and the thoughts and the decisions. And I can just let it fly by and read it. I can do some background coaching with a few people if I think they're a little off track. I can get right on the network and kibitz if I'd like. And after a month or so, when I know that it's going well, I can take my name off. And so not only is this a way to organize, violating all management and geographic boundaries, it's also a way to manage, where one can see, again, the thoughts and disagreements and decisions of a company fly by a manager in a way that they never could before. And we have seen it reduce the number of meetings we have at least by 50%. We've seen it get far more managers and individual contributors involved in decisions than they ever were before, and we think the quality of the decisions is a lot higher. And we've seen a window for management to look into the process of this organism we call our company in a way that has never before been possible. As business conditions change faster and faster with each year, we cannot change our management hierarchical organization very fast relative to the changing business conditions. We can't have somebody working for a new boss every week. We also can't change our geographic organization very fast. Matter of fact, even slower than the management one. We can't be moving people around the country every week. But we can change an electronic organization like that. And what's starting to happen is we start to link these computers together with sophisticated networks and great user interfaces. We're starting to be able to create clusters of people working on a common task in literally in 15 minutes worth of setup. And these 15 people can work together extremely efficiently no matter where they are geographically and no matter who they work for hierarchically. And these organizations can live for as long as they're needed and then vanish. And we're finding we can reorganize our companies electronically very rapidly, and that's the only type of organization that can begin to keep pace with the changing business conditions. And I believe that this collaborative model has existed in higher education for a long time, but we're starting to see it applied into the commercial world as well. And this is going to be the third major revolution that these desktop computers provide, is revolutionizing human-to-human communication and group work. We call it interpersonal computing. In the 1980s, we did personal computing. And now we're going to extend that as we network these things to interpersonal computing. I actually think what an interesting paradox is, it is the network which is ultimately going to define and create the home computer market. Being a part of that network and not being able to stay away from it while you're at home will drive people to get computers in every house, just like we have a telephone in every house.
But computers then won't be just computers. They'll be radios and stereos and TVs.
No, I think they'll be just computers. Just like your phone isn't your television set. Just like your toaster isn't your radio. I think they'll be computers, and they'll have many of the capabilities of these other devices. Multimedia, the ability to integrate sound and video in with the computer, is absolutely coming. But a lot of people have mistaken it as the end rather than the means. We see multimedia as more of a means. In other words, people aren't going to buy a computer for multimedia. They're going to buy it for training, or they're going to buy it for interpersonal communication. And in that communication, in addition to text, they're going to want voice. They're going to want, potentially, I might want to send you a video clip. But the real market is to help us communicate better.
Have everybody sign the cases. That was great. Why did you do that?
Because the people that worked on it consider themselves, and I certainly consider them, artists. These are the people that under different circumstances would be painters and poets, but because of that time that we live in, this new medium has appeared in which to express oneself to one's fellow species, and that's a medium of computing. And so a lot of people that would have been artists and scientists have gone into this field to express their feeling, and so it seemed like the right thing to do.
Balance between thinking and doing. I mean, one of the things in the semiconductors was you had risk takers. Mm-hmm. I mean, Bob Noyce, learns
Absolutely.
to hang glide at age 40. I mean, these people like laying their butts on the line. How important was that in the early days? I mean, we're going back to 75.
Well, again, after seeing, my entire life's been spent only in one industry, which is this one. And but I've been in it now for about 15 years, and I've seen a lot of people make a lot of things. I've seen a lot of people fail a lot of things. And my point of view on this, or my observation, is that the doers are the major thinkers. The people that really create the things that change this industry are both the thinker-doer in one person. And if we really go back and we examine, did Leonardo have a guy off to the side that was thinking 5 years out in the future what he would paint or the technology he would use to paint it? Of course not. Leonardo was the artist, but he also mixed all his own paints. He also was a fairly good chemist, knew about pigments, knew about human anatomy, and combining all of those skills together, the art and the science, the thinking and the doing, was what resulted in the exceptional result. And there is no difference in our industry. The people that have really made the contributions have been the thinkers and the doers. And when you a lot of people, of course, it's very easy to take credit for the thinking. The doing is more concrete, but it's very easy for somebody to say, oh, I thought of this 3 years ago. But usually when you dig a little deeper, you find that the people that really did it were also the people that really worked through the hard intellectual problems as well.
What's it going to take to make computers accessible to the rest of the public? I mean, I don't know what the statistics are, but 20 million people on computers? Or what's it going to take to get it to 100 million?
Well, probably death is the best invention of life, because it means there's a constant turnover. And so if you want to make a change in our society, the best place to do it is in the educational system. So that there are now generations of people that have come out of school who computers are second nature to them. And the people in our society that at this point still have not embraced these things are getting older, and as that cycle, that wheel of birth and death turns, just like driving, people that don't drive are very rare, and another generation or two, people that don't use computers are be pretty rare.
Going back,
it's a harsh way of saying it, but that's the.
It's very true. I mean, there is a line that says those people that don't adopt it will die off.
Well, time passes.
Yeah.
Well, at the time we started Apple, Woz was working for Hewlett-Packard. I was working for Atari, actually for Nolan Bushnell, designing video games. And we went to Atari and showed them our early prototypes, and we went to HP. And we encouraged each company to hire the other one and let us do this for them. And we got turned down in both places, probably for good reasons. But we started a company because it was the only alternative left, not because we wanted to. When we started Apple, we were out to build computers for our friends. That was all. No idea of a company.